Hi everybody, we're here today at Groezrock 2014 with Dani from Bury Tomorrow. Hello, how are you?
Very well, thank you. I'm a bit tired, but I'm doing okay.
Okay, I hope you're not too tired because you still have to go on, yeah?
No, I'm always ready.
Okay, really good. So, first question, maybe a little bit odd for a first question in an interview, but are you religious?
Yes.
Yes?
I am.
In what way?
As a band, we're not, because I think there's a couple of members that have different ideas, but I'm Christian, I was brought up that way.
Okay.
I'm not overly practicing, because you can't really be on tour, but you know, I've got my beliefs, but it's more beliefs than it is I'm tied down by a religion, so yeah, I'm Christian. I would say that to anyone. So.
Yeah. You just believe in the general way of Christian...
Of course, and general good behaviour, you know.
Okay, yes, of course.
It's like being, you know, you should treat others how you want to be treated. And
that's true.
That's the only rule you need to take out of any book or any Bible or whatever. So.
Indeed, indeed, indeed. Now, okay, why am I asking you this? Not because we're really a site that deals with religion in a specific way, but we always tend to structure our interviews according to a certain religious theme.
Okay.
And in this case, for Bury Tomorrow, we used the 7 gifts of the Holy Ghost.
Okay.
So, the first one is understanding, which we are going to take a look at. Now, the newest album, Runes, it's coming out on the 26th of May, right?
Yep.
So you've already released a video for Man on Fire. Now I was actually wondering, because you guys said that it was the entire album would be a little bit nostalgic and futuristic at the same time, but I didn't quite figure out how I could place Man on Fire in that context. Was it more nostalgic or futuristic, or?
I think generally it's not such a literal term. I think as a whole the album harks back to the influences that we grew up listening to, like Killswitch Engage and As I Lay Dying and Still Remains. But you know, we're not trying to imitate or be anything, because obviously we have our fan base, and Union of Crowns got as a big fan base and of people that really like that style of music. So if we'd have just straight abandoned that, then obviously we'd have been a bit lost. But I think, you know, Man on Fire is the most aggressive song. I think it's fast, it's heavy, because you know we don't generally do that kind of speed. It's generally very, very structured. I feel that whole song is quite sporadic in places, which is like old school metalcore, and I think it does sit in the middle. I don't think it quite sits back there, because it's obviously got a lot more new style and it's got our style, but I think it's right in the middle. I think it's the perfect, and that's why it was released as a single, you know, and because it represents us as a band as a whole, you know.
And lyric-wise, because I know the other ones, they said that lyrics aren't that important to you guys, but what is it actually about, Man on Fire?
I mean, lyrics are important to me, like they're massively important to me. But yeah, I mean, Man on Fire is about insanity. It's about people struggling with mental issues, whether it's depression or insanity, and it's almost like a metaphor that these people are set alight, and when anyone can be set alight, and it's not anything specific, you know. It's not people that deal with these mental problems. It's not specific to their lifestyle. It's not specific to their upbringing all the time, you know. And I think they can be factors of it, but I believe that anyone can go through that, and it's just a general homage to an understanding about that, you know, and an understanding that we're all fragile human beings, you know. And I think and the whole thing, Man on Fire, is just a representation and a metaphor about someone being insane and going insane, you know. Yeah.
So it's not really the right thing to say that Man on Fire does really set the tone for the entire album. It's somewhere in the middle then, or? Yeah,
I mean, I think it's in the middle. I think it's a different track, because obviously I believe that every time you release a single it should be kind of different, because I think it grabs people's attention. I think that song as a whole, from start to finish, grabs people's attention. And from the word go, when we recorded that song, it wasn't so much that we were like, that's a single, that's the song that's the best song, because all of the tracks I feel are the best songs we've ever written, but it's generally just a feeling of that's so different, people are going to latch onto that, so we were like, well, we must release it as a single. So.
Okay, we're looking forward to it. Anyways, let's go to the second one. The second gift is Fortitude. Now, there's this video in which the other two describe the concept of runes, and then they mention that the riffs are important. Of course, I get that to you, the lyrics are important as well. But I also heard that you guys want to really define yourselves as being a band that plays metalcore. So is that more important than conveying a message through lyrics, or? I
mean, I think it runs hand in hand. You know, without lyrics, you wouldn't have the meaningful side of songs, but without riffs, you wouldn't have the song. You know, and I think as a whole, as a unit, we've always been a band. We're not a band that goes into a studio and manufactures a sound. We're a band that plays music like it should be played in a garage or in a practice studio, or now, you know, in big venues. You know, at the end of the day, music should be played and heard and felt. You know, I write lyrics all the time, but I'll assign certain lyrics that I've written to certain songs with certain feelings, you know, and the lyrics shouldn't just be random, but I don't think you could be even remotely in the same mindset if you didn't have those riffs and those feelings, you know. And I love music though, so I'm a sucker for anything that's any music that makes me feel, and that can be instrumental or it can be with lyrics, you know. And I'm, as I said before, I'm a huge sucker for good lyrics. But if there's a part of almost classical or just straight instrumental music, you know, I'm a sucker for that as well. It's just about music to me. So I think as a whole, you need everything. You need the whole unit. You need drums all the way up to vocals, because without any of those elements, we wouldn't be Bury Tomorrow. We'd be something else, you know. So.
Yes, indeed. Now, I thought it was a little bit funny that, well, funny, maybe a wrong way of saying it, but that you really want to come out as playing metalcore and putting that back on the mats, actually. Because many bands, I think, don't want to be labeled or anything, but you really want to be called metalcore, right?
I mean, it's kind of like, we've been going for years, like, this isn't our first, as it's like an expression, it's not our first rodeo. At the end of the day, like, we've been a band that's championed metalcore for years. Like, you know, we were saying metalcore was cool when metalcore wasn't cool, you know, and we grew up in the era where bands like Atreyu and bands like Still Remains were the biggest bands in the UK and the biggest bands in the US, you know, and that died out, and those bands weren't the biggest anymore, and metalcore was a dirty word. And we went through 2009, 2010 playing music that people didn't want to listen to, you know. And we're not an electronic band, we don't have electronics, we don't play the backing tracks, we're a real band, and we're a real metal band. I don't take anything away from bands that do that, but that's not our thing, we never have been. And we've always latched onto that word metalcore, and, you know, essentially it's melodic metal, like, and, you know, it can be, I hate the derivatives of metal. I hate that you can have deathcore and you can have this and that. At the end of the day, it's metal and it's abrasive music, and that's awesome, you know, and I love that, and I love being part of that. But I think when you put it into categories, I think this is why bands don't like it, is that when you put things in categories, you can have people that hate that immediately just because of the category, you know. And as soon as people who are into heavier music think metalcore, they think, oh, I'm not listening to it. But it's the same as other things, you know. As sometimes someone goes, oh, that's black metal and I don't want to listen to it, it's too heavy. It's rubbish. You should immerse yourself into music, and you should immerse yourself into a million different genres outside of metal as well, you know, and find something that you like. There is something in every genre, I believe, that someone can latch onto and like, you know, and we've never been shy of shouting about something that people don't like. We're on Nuclear Blast, you know, and we made a video where it looks like we're in David Guetta video, so we're not shy, and I'm not scared to stand up and say, you know, we are a metal band, you know. They can say what they want.
Indeed, say what you want.
Yeah.
Okay, good. The third one, which is knowledge. Now, you also mentioned that you were more confident now than going into the previous one, Union. How come? Is it because how did you progress as a band then, do you think?
I think we're comfortable now. I think the members are all in exactly the same mindset. With five guys that are literally have the same mindset on everything, you know, and that's a good place to be. The album was written and recorded, and there was no problems. There was no differences in opinions, which is another great thing, you know. And obviously, you know, we all have the same vision as to where we want Bury Tomorrow to go, and so that's an amazing thing. We're very, very lucky to have that. And also, when we were doing Union of Crowns, there was a lot of upset, a lot of unrest as to how we were going to continue to be a band, you know. We didn't have a label at the time, we didn't have any prospects or any tours or anything lined up, you know, and we just released Lionheart, which is a great song for us. It did really well, and, you know, we were confident in that it was going to do well, but we didn't know, we had no label. So I think that's always going to make you worry, you know, and we hadn't released an album for 3 years, so we didn't know the game anymore, you know. We were out of practice, and I think this time it's kind of like, we know what's going to happen, we know that kids are either going to like it or they're not going to like it. We hope they like it, and at the end of the day, it's like, what can you do? We're proud of it, like, and that's the only thing you can do, and we're just a lot more confident in that aspect. As it sounds flippant, but if people don't like it, they don't have to listen to us, you know. And we have a lot of people that do listen to us now, which is a great thing, you know. And so that's why we're confident in going into it. So.
Yes. Yeah. So will you play some songs of the new album today?
Yeah, I mean, we've only got a short set because obviously it's not like a big headliner. I think we've got 40 minutes, you know, and I think we're going to play 2, Man on Fire and Watcher. I think we're going to play, so because we've released both of those tracks out for people to listen to. We've recently been playing another track, which is a new single that we're going to be bringing out, but I don't think we're going to play it today, just to keep set time down and keep it crazy rather than
I think it will be crazy. It's a really good stage, I think.
Yeah, it's cool. I had a look. It's the first time, obviously, they've done this year, and it's the first time we played, so hopefully there's a lot of people that like us, you know.
I hope you'll have fun.
I hope so.
You'll have fun. Okay, the last one is actually Piety. Now, Piety, it sounds a little bit too religious maybe, but we want to take a look at it as in believing in things. Now, it's actually a fun note to end on, I think. Many people obviously believe in Bury Tomorrow, and now I've come across this Facebook page, and they wanted you to play on Eurovision Song Festival in 2012. What is that about?
I don't know, I think it all stems from when Lordi they obviously won the Eurovision contest, and there was a time around like when Rage Against the Machine in the UK got to #1 over Christmas #1, which is a big thing because obviously Simon Cowell controls everything. What people don't understand is that Rage Against the Machine are on Island Records, so generally it's the same guy, but it's like, I don't know, that was my own personal beliefs about it, but you know, it's a bit of fun. I think people are always trying to get the underdogs to do something fun. It's probably something that we never do because it seems to be a death nail in everyone's career, because Lordi haven't really done much since, and every other person that's won doesn't really do much, but it's a bit of a laugh, you know, and we're a band that, it stems from the fact that I think we exude that we're a band that doesn't take ourselves too seriously. Like, I don't think metal or hardcore should be, people that listen to those bands should be, you know, made to feel like they have to take anything too seriously. It's a bit of a fun, you know, and it's about going to a show and with your friends and having a great time, you know. And
of course.
We're not an American band that goes, you know, we're going skateboarding and having fun and, you know, everyone's having a good time. But we're a band that likes everyone to go home believing that they had a great time, and that whether they just want to jump with their friends or they want to just stand at the back and drink a beer, like, it's how you interpret music, and it's how you know, express how you like music, you know.
Yeah, indeed. Okay, so I think that's a really nice thought to end this interview.
Yeah, it's very
Thank you very much for listening.
Of the sacred, we're blowing life between the